Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Welcome back to Wind Tunnel TV. Tonight, it's the Kylou Glass Gen 4 series. We're here at Talladega tonight. Gonna be a good one. I'm Dean Doucette. He's Jared Carr. Jared, man, good old Dega. I mean, it doesn't need a lot of explaining, does it?
No, Dean, it doesn't. I mean, tonight we're at the fastest track with some of the fastest cars that ever ran on this speedway besides the 87s. I'm excited for the race. I haven't seen these cars do a super speedway race yet, so I'm really excited to see how this is going to turn out.
Yeah, it should bring a bit of a different element, right? I mean, we have these old cars. What do you remember from the old style in real world racing?
Well, so there was a couple different eras, right? I mean, you had those mid-90 eras where you had a pack separation, right? And usually the really best aero and handling cars separated themselves by the end of the race. I mean, you think about the 98 500, the 97 500, one of my favorites, the 99 500. But then everything kind of changed when they went to when teams started getting smarter and came out with the super speedway body. And you'll see that on the screen. You know, as you look at these guys, these really, really flat valences on the front of them. That came around 2001, 2002, where teams were able to start manipulating the rules, if you will, and creating these crazy front bumpers, which allowed more pack racing. They also changed some spoiler rules. But these are some classic era, right? 2001, the Dale Jr. race. I mean, you can't argue that that was one of the most classic races ever. Even the Daytona 500, where Dale Earnhardt unfortunately died, was a classic race up until that point. One of the best Daytona 500s ever. And you can't forget the 07 Daytona 500 with Clint Boyer flipping her over on his lid, on fire. I mean, there were so many, Dean, I could keep going.
Yeah, and I mean, we love that you can keep going, Jared. I mean, the knowledge outstanding, but you just made me focus in on those front, I mean, what did we call those? Valences?
Yeah, the front valence, yep.
Valence? I mean, they're awesome looking to me. I mean, they're a little strange, almost like they're cheating in some regard, but I love the look of it.
Yeah, and it's really great. I mean, it allows you to kind of lock bumpers, bump draft, things like that, whereas, you know, in the 90s, those teams couldn't do that as much, even though it's the same, very similar cars. But really excited to see what this does. And Dean, that's that's part one of this, right? Part two of this is one of the last races of the year, if not the last race.
Well, no, that is not correct, Jared.
I apologize.
That is something I put on us, Jared, and untrue. The races weren't listed, but there is a full season in front of us, or at least I think 16, 17 in total, something like that. So we've got a ways to go yet, and let's talk about that. Let's get into the championship standings here. And we can see Jason Ratliff, who's won several times, at least 3 times in this series, maybe 4. But his lead is minimal, Jared. These are unofficial, by the way, everybody's, but they are close to reality. You got Ratliff, Ripka, Owens, Walker II, Pistol, Torgerson, and Brantley, all right in the thick of this, within 25 or so points, Jared.
Yeah, I mean, this is extremely tight. Like you said, I mean, Ratliff 15-point lead over Ripka, and then Owens is right there, and so on and so forth. Dean, and you know, we look at that and all the stats and all the data. Well, guess what? We can just throw all that in the garbage because you don't know what you're going to get here tonight. And I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody that hasn't won yet maybe sneak their way to the front, because we have several guys in here that we've watched in either the Gen 6 League, the trucks, the Xfinity Series, that have found their way to victory lane and might find their way to victory lane in this Gen 4 car here tonight, Dean.
Yeah, that's what you love about this series. It's brought some new people to the front. I find it highly interesting to see who's going to be up there on a given day. But let's get into tonight's starting grid and find out who's up front here this evening. It is Lance Buckshot Ripka on the point with a time of 55.016. Tracy Powers will start on the outside of row number 1. In row 2, it's Otto Viani and Torgerson. 3 will feature Corey Buskirk and Austin Inman. In 7th, it's Claus Williams. On his outside, Greg Ratliff. Todd the Toad Man Gilly will start in 9th with Shane Fleming on his outside. Row 6 is Ross Weiss and Michael Walker.
Yeah, you look further back, we got Wes Pistol and Chris Owens, two of our top point guys there in row 7. Paul Travis joining us back. He had some surgery. Glad to see him back on the track, Dean. And row 8 with Daryl Spear. We got Jason Spear back in row 9 with Rachel Hunt, Adam Newton, and TJ Rogers. Herb and Tom Ashley share row 11. Then we have Ian Spear, Eric Whiting, and Tony Ratliff along with Bob LaPrime out there, Dean. And we do have some folks already out in the chat excited about tonight's race. We've got Doyle Lawrence out there cheering on Troy Torgerson. He's one of our big watchers. We also got Ronnie Spear, the patriarch, if you will, of the Spear family. He's got several folks in here he's rooting for here tonight, Dean. So we're excited to have those guys in our chat here tonight.
Yeah, awesome to have them, of course, here in the chat. You want to get some time for your driver. I mean, this camera angle, not the best right now, but you got to look at the Spears. You want to get a look at your favorite driver. Shout them out there. Of course, the Bulldog right behind the Spear there tonight. He is officially on the track as well. Almost ready to get them rolling here. 85 laps here tonight. Look for these guys to do green flag stops. Teamwork going to be essential here this evening.
Yeah, it is, and that's going to be the key. Like I said, Dean, I haven't watched or participated in any super speedway races yet, so I'm really curious to see how these drivers do and handle this car at this track.
All right, pace cars off, ready to go green flag racing here at Talladega.
Green flag, green flag.
It's down and away. Ripka down on the inside, power is up high.
And listen to those engines wind up, Dean, and this is something we don't talk about a lot when we cover next gens or Xfinity cars or even trucks. But there's a wind-up period on these vehicles, Dean. It's not going to be full song by the end of the first lap. It's going to take about a lap and a half for these cars to get up to speed. And you're already seeing Tracy Powers did not get a good start. And look how much gap we already got between the first line, the bottom line, and the upper line, Dean.
Yeah, and I think that's something you'll notice here, Jared, as we go along. You know, these aren't quite what we're used to in these other cars. These cars are going to have to wind up that power on that outside. Inside lane dominant here early. Other thing to consider out here, larger gas tank, fuel mileage. Do we have ourselves a fuel mileage race? I gotta say it's a good possibility.
Yeah, we could, Dean, and this is going to be huge. We already got 3 wide as Tracy Powers put in the sucker hole. That's something we'll talk about here tonight a lot. The car in the middle gets a lot of aerodynamic disadvantage in these vehicles because the side draft just doesn't exist right there. And you see the bottom line just fly by Tracy Powers, and he's able to get back in line with the 32 machine moving up on him. So Tracy Powers, either by design or just got caught out, has dropped all the way back to 9th place already.
Yeah, it's really the opposite of what we're used to, isn't it, Jared? Usually the middle, like in the trucks, for instance, I mean, you can power right down the middle and gain an advantage, not a disadvantage.
Yeah, and you're already seeing, too, Dean, the outside line, that is led by that 89 machine of Troy Torgerson. He started in 4th position, and he is just getting nothing on the outside. The car is just stalled out. He's got 2 cars behind him, but he has not been able to make any progress on the outside line. And we're already starting to see, Dean, gaps within the field developing, and that's that aero balance we talked about at the top of the show.
This is very odd what we're seeing from that outside groove. What we're seeing is there isn't one right now, Jared.
And everybody really got single file, and like I said, you're starting to see some gaps develop. I mean, Ripka and Odebiani have a decent gap over the 99 machine there, Dean, and that's kind of a little bit what we're not used to. But now we see Chris Owens move to the outside line. Can he make something develop out here? So far, nobody has, but we know Chris Owens is one of those guys that's kind of a go-getter and will try to make something happen, but it just feels like it's stalling out.
Yeah, I mean, like usually what you would do here, because it has a feel like perhaps a lot of people saving fuel out here, maybe, don't know that for sure, but you would think in that case, you go to the outside, Jared, you get up there and you push the pace so that they can't do this. But we've already seen it's either those guys were falling to the back on purpose or it just wasn't working.
Yeah, and something one of our audience members, Doyle Lawrence, pointed out, Dean, is that the side draft, the way this car works, you have to be pretty close to the car on the inside of you, and if you're not, you're not going to be able to really push forward as well as you might want to. So that is also part of it. But at the same time, when you have somebody on the outside, that car in the middle really struggles, and you see Chris Owens once again trying to make something work on the outside. He's just not having a lot of success.
Yeah, and I think Doyle brings up a great point. As like some of these guys, like I said, that might have been a drop back, hard to say, but I think the point goes hand in hand with this league, or against this league, if you will. These guys are unwilling, and certainly so, especially early on, to get down there and right side draft, you know what I mean? They don't want any problems early on. They're not going to push the limits, as we see Adam Newton get loose there. Not sure what happened there. But, if you don't get beside that car, you're going straight to the back, apparently.
Yeah, and TJ Rogers is making a little bit of hay with Paul Travis Senior right behind him. But he's going to duck in line and leave poor Paul by himself. But again, Chris Owens and the 90 of Michael Fleming trying for the third time to get that outside line developing. I respect the hustle, but right now it just feels like it's not really working.
Well, we'll see how many laps these guys can do. I mean, I'm thinking 43 is probably doable. I think this is what we're witnessing. Let's hop on board. We'll hop on board with Travis. He brought him up, and just see if we can tell what he's doing. See those RPMs barely over 7,000 right now, Jared.
Yeah, and that's right on the chip. There is a restrictor plate out there. We don't really talk about the plates anymore, with the newer age cars, because they have an aspirated engine, right? And a spacer, things like that. But back in the day, they threw a plate on there to restrict the engine power. And you're seeing right there, the car looks really stable. But, I mean, this is, 200 miles an hour, Dean. I mean, this is not a walk in the park.
Definitely is not. Right now through the corner, 185 in the straightaways. When they're pushing, when they're really going, probably will crack 200. I think right now maybe 190 is where we're going to fall out.
And as we were kind of talking, Dean, Chris Owens hustled again to try to get to the top, and he has fallen off the back. I mean, he is off the back of this pack, Dean.
Wow. Not sure what happened with Owens, but he is off the pace. He has lost the draft. Also, another group, Ashley, along with Tony Ratliff, Rachel Hunt, Robert LaPrime, Eric Whiting, they also have lost the draft. They're in big trouble, Jared, because what I'm seeing up front.
Michael Ottaviani, Dean, I apologize to cut you off. He has hit the wall coming off turn 4 from second place. He has smashed the wall coming off turn 4. He gets down to pit road, but heavy damage on the 53. Maybe a mechanical problem there. Jason Spear almost runs in the back of him, but I think a wheel quit on Ottaviani. Everybody very lucky to get through that.
Look at the front of the pack, folks. Looks like he's pushing pretty hard. You see Spear jump up from our camera angle, and wow, Ottaviani did, like you said, just drove into the wall. We'll get a better look at this here. We play it again. You see, he is not even really that close, and he just drives straight into the wall. That's definitely a wheel failure or something, Jared.
Dude, and I feel so bad for Michael Ottaviani, because he's one of those guys that I was kind of thinking about at the beginning of the talk, that, they are good at super speedways, and he was showing his prowess being in second place, playing smart, and just something taken out of your hand.
I got to tell you, we talk a lot about momentum around here, how getting a win can propel you into many wins, and getting in the top 5 can get that going, and so forth. But there is a reverse side of the coin, as there is with everything. And right now, Michael Ottaviani, this week, maybe a week and a half, has been snake bit, failures, mistakes, retirements. Tonight, it compounds, and once again, he's on pit road.
Yeah, tough break for the 53, but again, Dean, we talked about it a little bit with before that was going on. We were talking about Chris Owens losing the draft. Chris Owens just tried to make a second line happen. Nobody went with him, and he just couldn't hang on to the back of the group, and that's the same thing. He has caught back with that second group. You were talking about Eric Whiting and that group. I don't know if they're going to have enough speed to catch up, but they are pushing the pace pretty well with Jason Spear, a really solid drafting guy, leading that charge right there. But drivers are continuing to drop off this main pack, Dean. This is something that you have to be aware of. This car is not the Xfinity car. It's not the next gen. You have to be very prudent with your moves, and you have to have help, or you will drop off the back of this pack.
Right now, the Bulldog pushing Weiss. He almost pushed Weiss right around, almost turning him. That's another thing. You got to get lined up in these cars, Jared.
You see Ross Weiss there jump up in front of Ab Newton. Newton, another one of these drivers that is really good on plate tracks, very smart, finds himself in the right place. And he's driving that number 2 machine, Dean, and that's obviously a good omen, right? That's the old, I think Kevin Harvick paint, right? So I mean that's always a good one to have on you.
Absolutely. So Newton and Weiss, along with Paul Travis, working the outside, making a little bit of progress, at least compared to what the others have done. And I think what we're seeing is, the guys before likely were just trying to drop to the back versus push. We see that outside lane starting to move forward now. Other groups too, to touch on them, Jared. Spear in that group, you're right, they are closing in now. 2.6 off the back end, and we got Tom Ashley and them. They're about 5 seconds behind Fleming and the group led by Jason Spear.
Yeah, and I have to wonder, right, if that is going to be, if those guys are going to be able to really get back into the pack. But I think this is going to be a lesson for a lot of people, right, is that there is something to be said for, making sure you stay with the pack.
The other interesting thing is Owens goes to the high side in the main pack, falls out of it. He's fallen out of the second group. He's fallen out of the third group. What is going on with Chris Owens? He's now 20 seconds behind, Jared, and falling rapidly.
Yeah, it's just like and there is something to be said about internet connections, and I don't want to delve down into the weeds of how that all works, but that could be part of it. It could be just that he's just not able to hook on in the draft. I mean, we've seen this in the next-gen car particularly. I was kind of looking through the replay at what happened, and it just looked like he couldn't catch on. So, it's tough.
It certainly is tough. He's not going to be happy about his situation. Currently 22 seconds back and dropping like a rock. He'll need a caution. Right now, they're too wide as Weiss, Newton, and Travis try to push their way to the front, and they're having success. TJ Rogers coming up on the outside to help them out.
Yeah, big run there. What a job by Ross Weiss, Adam Newton, and Paul Travis. They didn't give up on the outside line. I did notice that Torgerson was dropping off the back of this pack. That's not what they want with Greg Ratliff and Michael Walker. Those guys struggling to stay with this group because the pace has picked up just a little bit.
Yeah, they are now 2.7 from Torgerson back to Spear. So, I don't know, maybe Torgerson's trying to pick them up.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, he could, lag back just a little bit, but like I said, you can't lag back too much because all of a sudden you'll just get dropped.
Let's go ahead and head on board with Mr. Herb Ashley here and just have a look at what we're dealing with. Cars surprisingly looking pretty stable, Jared. I'm used to these cars moving around quite a bit.
Yeah, and these cars, contrary to a lot of belief, these cars were pretty stable at super speedways in this era until the end of the run because they didn't change tires, right? And then things got wild. But man, this is going to be something going on, and Adam Newton is shoving Ross Weiss to the lead right now, Dean, off of turn 2. He is all over. Ross Weiss is basically taking his hands off the wheel, and Adam Newton's driving for him.
Oh, and he's going to wreck him.
Oh, no. Don't do that. Oh, my goodness.
That's a little over aggression there early on in this race. The Bulldog pushing a little bit off center and a little too hard. Wow, Weiss is gathering himself up at the back now of the outside lane.
Yeah, Ross is an old dirt tracker, so I think he was okay handling onto that thing, but my goodness, he had his hands full right there, dude.
That was something else. I mean, Newton wanted to go to the lead, or at least push Weiss to the lead. Now Travis all over Newton, so Newton will see what it feels like here a little bit.
And Dean, I haven't talked to Paul yet, but I know he had some surgery. I think he's just out here. He's wanting to go to race, right? He wants to go to the front, get up here, and get that 88 car some TV time at the lead, right? And he's shoving Newton down the back straightaway, and they're doing a really good job, really hooked up, and that's really a nice job of pushing, but you got to watch those water and oil temps, Dean.
I mean, he is all over him, Jared. Literally in the perfect position. The problem, off the corner, the cars get misaligned, and if you make contact, boy, we've seen it already.
He blew up. Paul Travis has blown up. He is done.
Wow.
Pushed too hard.
Travis has blown his engine. Unbelievable. On lap 17, pushing to the lead so early on. We like aggression, Jared. Twice we've seen it, and twice it hasn't worked out. This time a blown engine. I don't believe it.
Yeah, and I was wondering, I was like, man, he is pushing hard, pushing hard. You got to watch those temps. Got to watch the oil and water temp. And as sure as I said it, not even a corner later, that thing blew up. What a tough night for Paul Travis, but boy, he was letting it hang out.
We zoomed in on it, Jared. I mean, he was locked on that rear end.
It was great pushing. I mean, some of the best pushing I've ever seen in any vehicle. So hats off there, but got to keep an eye on those temps.
Yeah, a little over aggressive here early on. Now everybody leaving Newton on the high side alone, and he fits in front of Rogers. Good thing there. Doesn't want to lose his draft. The main draft, only 12 cars deep. Spear and that group, they are falling back. They are not like together enough. The front two are okay. The other two, and you can see there, they space out, take different lines off the corner. They're just not going to make progress. They're in deep trouble. Behind them, Ashley, Ratliff, Hunt, and them, they're making a little progress on that second group. So when they get there, maybe everybody will be a little better.
Yeah, Jason Spear leading the second group, but they're not organized. Jason, Daryl, and Daryl Spear, Pistol, and Fleming. And we saw Pistol and Fleming trying to make something happen on the outside, and I think they got kind of hung out to dry. But they're 6 seconds back. Their best move, in my opinion, is to let Tom Ashley, Ian Spear, Tony Ratliff, Rachel Hunt, LaPrime, and Whiting all catch up to them. I think that is their best opportunity. And Dean, I've got to check in on something, because something has happened to Troy Torgerson of the 89, because he is out of the race as well.
Torgerson out as well. What is going on? What in tarnation?
What is going on here? Oh, he spun. Oh my goodness, he got spun by Jason Spear. He was off the back, and I was wondering if he was going to lose the back of the pack, and he just got turned.
Wow.
Jason Spear aggressively pushing him on lap 15 and just spun him out, and Torgerson did not hit anything, or he did hit the inside wall a little bit. He is back on track, but boy, he is 2 laps down, and man, that is a tough night for Troy Torgerson.
Not what we expected here tonight. Spear got a little loose there in that tri-oval portion, and when he corrected back, he just got a little bit of the inside bumper of Torgerson, and that sent him, wow. I mean, in a calm night where nobody's really racing the outside lane, nobody's really doing anything, and yet we already have 2 guys basically out, 3 perhaps. Unbelievable stuff, Jared.
Yeah, officially only Ottaviani is out, and Paul Travis, with the blown engine. Torgerson is still on the racetrack. He is cycled back into that last pack with Fleming and Rachel Hunt. He's trying to latch on right now as we speak in that 89 machine, but that second group is not organized. Otherwise, between, except for Tom Ashley and Tony Ratliff are organized, but Jason Spear has dropped off the second pack, Dean. I mean, this is incredible to watch all these drivers struggling to stay with the group they're in, and this is going to make for a really long night for some of these guys.
I think Spears trying to drag this other group up to him. He knows he doesn't have the help he needs. He's trying to get these two groups to merge together, and I think it's a great move by Jason Spear.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Dean, and I think he's doing a great job being like the transition driver. I don't know. I've lost the words.
I got jokes, Jared, but I'm going to save them.
This is PG? Is it PG-13? I don't know.
Yes. We're going to go. Look up here. We got Chris Owens now going a lap down. So, Jared, we don't know what's been going on with Owens. He could have something going on at home, folks. That's the problem with sim racing sometimes. You're like, I got something. I can keep it going around the track, but I can't focus enough to stay in a draft. We're going to stay with him here and see if he can latch on this time, Jared.
Yeah, and he needs to. I mean, he is one lap down. Get a caution, he's back on the lead lap, so that could be his advantage, but he don't want to go 2 laps down. He is not latching on very well.
No, I don't think he's going to attach himself here. So, Owens, something wrong with that machine. He's definitely not on full power. I mean, a man of his talents could latch onto a group. Even though it's difficult, like you said, you should not lose the group repeatedly, Jared.
Yeah, I don't know. I know the draft model is a little bit tough, to say the least, but I thought that was maybe tuned a little bit, but maybe not. Other news: Ian Spear has lost the main group, or lost the third group, so he's kind of traveling around in no man's land. And we have Eric Whiting and Troy Torgerson kind of by themselves, several laps off. But that second and third groups, Dean, have merged up. Aside from those drivers, we talked about Rachel Hunt and Tony Ratliff make contact going into the trioval.
This is crazy. These guys cannot get it together in this second group, and you see all the spaces due to that little bit of getting loose there, and they just can't get anything going. They continue to hemorrhage time. Pistol leading the group now, almost 8 seconds back from Ross Weiss in 12th place. Yeah,
this is a really tough rules package. It reminds me of the rules package they had in the 2000s, where if you got out of line, you were very much in a big problem. And the 2000 Daytona 500 and the 2000 Die Hard 500, which was the spring race at Talladega, both those races kind of go in the annals of history as some of the worst plate races of this era, if not the entire era of NASCAR. And this race reminds me of those races, Dean.
Well, that does not bode well for us. But I'll tell you this, that may be true in real life. That is not going to be true here for this reason only. Some of these guys, and a lot of these guys, kind of like this style of racing where it comes down to teamwork and pit stops, Jared. That clearly is where the rubber is going to meet the road tonight. I mean, these top 12 drivers, they're not going to do anything now. They're like, let's just keep gapping them, wait for pit stops. I mean, that's what they should do anyway.
Yeah, TJ Rogers, who was dead last in the pack, trying to make a side draft move on Adam Newton. He's got to be careful here because he could separate himself and Adam Newton from this pack, and that already looks like it's starting to happen. You guys got to get in line. You can't do that by yourselves. He is.
Wow, what a learning curve here, Jared. I mean, since when do you pull out and you just fade immediately? That you could see it. Those two were going to fade off if they didn't get back in line.
Yeah, this is very much that 1999 to the first two races of 2000 plate race package that existed.
Let's talk about iRacing for a second.
Absolutely.
And just say, hey, kudos. I mean, a lot of people talk about, oh, realism, it's not real. This is exactly what it was.
Yeah, it's very close. I mean, there's different eras of this car, but this has definitely got a vibe. I will say that much. See Greg Ratliff there mid-pack, got a little bit loose, and now he has separated himself from that number 62 machine, I believe, there at the tail end of that group. But that is not good for Greg Ratliff. I hope he can get back in line there and get back up.
But it happens so fast, Jared. One little wiggle and the separation's immediate. Very surprising. On other iRacing news, iRacing Arcade is coming. What do you think of that, Jared?
You know, I think it looks fun. I think it I think it's. I'm gonna try it. I don't. You know, I think. You know, I think it's great. I don't have any problem with it. But the problem I do have overall is, you know,
Careful
when you look
now.
at the you look at the NASCAR game, the standalone NASCAR game that's supposed to be coming out here in a couple months. You look at you know, the IndyCar game that's about to be released. Now you look at iRacing Arcade on top of the dirt track game, on top of Exocross, and you just wonder, you know, can iRacing do all these things effectively? And that's all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely always that concern, Jared. I mean, as far as the arcade thing, I'd like your take on it. Just liking it, why not, right? It's something completely different. It's kind of for your beginners and your kids. And heck, for us too, Jared. We're all big old kids. I'll probably give it a go myself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with a game that's not taking itself and pretending to be something serious, right? As long as you understand that going into it, like this is not designed to be that way, I don't have a problem with it whatsoever. I have a problem if it was like supposed to be serious and it wasn't, right? That would be a totally different scenario.
All right, back to this race. Ross Weiss has lost the draft. He is now 3.5 seconds back, so now only 11 in the main pack. He becomes the bridge driver to Wes Pistol, who now has Spear on his bumper. Can Spear do something? But remember, Spear's going to be gun shy. He already knocked Troy Torgerson out of the race, basically. So he's a little gun shy and getting too close to Pistol here, but we'll see if they can make some progress.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. I mean, we got 4 cars, maybe 6 cars if Hunt and Ratliff can stay on there. But, you know, students of the game, if they remember these races in real life, the big thing you have to do is time your passes and wait. You have to be patient on the car and let the handling kind of come to it. Obviously, this is a fixed setup series, so the handling may not be a big difference, but you have to be patient with your moves. And I think as this race goes on, we get some green flag pit stops, I think these guys are going to figure this out, and all of a sudden you're going to have a totally different ball game.
Toadman now in danger of losing the pack. Meanwhile, Michael Fleming had an incident. Let's get a look at it. And we've got black screen, so that means he probably blacked out, blinked out, and he probably done for the night.
Yeah, tough break for Fleming there.
So odd evening so far. Gilly does latch on to the back of this group, so he is hanging on. He's still got to fight. You got to stay real close. There's no lagging back anymore. Pistol has joined with Spear here, so these guys now 8 seconds off, Jared. I think they're making a move now. If they can stay together and stay in line, I think they got the right horses in the right places right now where they can get something done.
Well, TJ Rogers, again, he has been very aggressive, trying to make moves on the outside, and Ab Newton is continuing to try to go with him in the front pack. And I know we're talking about that second pack, but we got
pit stops coming in. Early stops, 31, so 2-stopper. All of a sudden, everybody looking pretty clean. They're almost 3 wide coming down pit road. This could be problematic. Got to get in line here, but Ashley first in, he's okay because he was down low. A secondary group also in. So we'll see how all these people get on and off of pit road. This is huge.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking at right now, because this could be one of the things that kind of looks at this race. I mean, we're looking at a 2-stop race at this point, right? I mean, we still got 44 laps to go. Ripka, the first one off, the 8 machine second, and then we have Ian Sphere, who's a lap down, also getting off pit road in third there. We have some other drivers there. It's all going to be about how they group up. Klaus Williams, second one off. You have Austin Inman, then Buskirk. A big grab back to Tracy Powers. Not a good pit stop there in the 40. Wes Pistol, a slow stop, and Jason Spear down the way as well.
As our leaders now come in, Newton, Rogers, Ratliff, Walker, and Gilly all on pit road. So they come in 1 lap later than everybody else.
This is going to be huge.
This is huge, and you know the problem with these pits, we always talk about it, is you're only as good as your weakest link in your team. Ripka got a great stop, but he was all alone, Jared, so he's got to wait for help.
Daryl Spear down the way with TJ Rogers, Greg Ratliff, Adam Newton. This is a good one. This group right here got off pit road fairly decent, Dean, and I think the second group that was leading, I think they're going to be able to kind of cycle in really well here.
Well, right now, we see Ripka going by one of them. That looks like the Toad Man. So the Toad Man with a bad stop, he's in trouble. This group coming off of pit road, Ripka and them coming up to them. So they're going to merge all together. That'll give us an 8-car pack here. And then the Toad Man, he's going to fall back. Tracy Powers, stuck all by himself. Pistol all by himself. Then Weiss and Spear. So, you know, this is what I'm talking about. They came in together, you know, and Weiss and Spear just, you know, they did good but not great, and they got to work back up to these other guys now.
Yeah, and you look at these pit stops, how everything is going right now. TJ Rogers, your leader. Daryl Spear, the last car on the lead lap, leading this group, so he is not on the lead lap. But right now, Lance Ripka, who dominated this opening stanza, Dean, is in 4th position, and you got Rogers, Ratliff, and Newton. And we've seen some issues in the past. I don't want to foreshadow or imply anything, but we've seen some issues between the 19 and the 5 as Ripka goes to the outside of Newton, and he's got Klaus Williams with him.
All right, those two take to the high side. Meanwhile, the Toad Man back on pit road. So problems for the Toad Man. He'll fall. Big, big trouble. Herb Ashley in deep trouble. Ian Spear in deep trouble. As you see, Herb Ashley right there, he's going a lap down right now. Strange night so far, Jared. I believe there's a full moon out. Is that correct?
I want to say it's a blood moon.
Oh, boy.
But yes.
Blood in the moon. Not a good sign.
No. Vampires, I think.
I mean, some call it the harvest moon. Or maybe I'm a little late on that one. I don't know. Been a while, Jared. Haven't done any harvesting in the last few years.
Yeah, I don't either, but I did ask Google what tonight's moon phase was. It is a waning gibbous for those that are interested.
What is that? Does that mean I have to drink?
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think you're allowed to do that, yeah.
Okay.
Sure, yes, you need to. You need to. That is a requirement of waning gibbous.
All right.
While that was going on, Klaus Williams, who was trying to help Lance Ripka to the front, lost the track. So he is off the back of the main pack, and this is not what Klaus Williams wants. So he's going to have to hope Buskirk and Herb Ashley can kind of come to his rescue sooner than later, because he is struggling to hold on as this main group, Dean, led by TJ Rogers, continues to shrink more and more. We lost several in the pit stop. We lost several in the racing part of this race. And right now, there's a lot of drivers on this track that are begging for a caution, especially if you're Daryl Spear, who is literally the last car on the lead lap.
Right there we look in Corey Buskirk. He's got Herb Ashley, who's a lap down now with him, so he's got a little bit of help, but he is 4 seconds off the main group. The other group that was around 8 seconds back, now 12 to 15 seconds behind. Wow, they lost more during that pit stop, Jared.
Well, the first group is only 8 drivers, or 9 drivers technically with Daryl Spear up there, but that second group is 4 drivers, Pistol, Weiss, Powers, and Jason Spear. They are 16 1.5 seconds behind, Dean. Then the third group is Rachel Hunt and Tony Ratliff. Those folks right there by themselves. Then you have LaPrime and Whiting trying to catch up. They also have one more driver in that group, Chris Owens, who is a lap down. But Dean,
And
we only have
Owens still
70
can't
drivers.
keep up. He can't even keep up with these two, Jared.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the 26. I don't know if he got the wall early on. Maybe he had some late lag damage. But tough night for the 26, who came in with a shot at that championship lead.
All right, so Daryl Spear leading this group, but he is on the tail end. I think he could be I think he's a lap down. No, he is on the tail end. So he's leading the group, but TJ Rogers leading the race, content to just sit here and ride. I think all these drivers at the front, which is only 5 now, because all of a sudden Williams, Ripka have dropped off, and they've joined in with a couple other cars. I'm not sure. We got a couple of lap cars, Torgerson in there, I think. Maybe not.
Yeah, I was kind of watching what happened here. And that second group, they caught Herb Ashley. And what happened was, when that happened, there was a little bit of a checkup in front of Lance Ripka. And what happened was Klaus Williams flat out just ran Lance Ripka over on lap 37. And I just didn't see the checkup, right? I mean, nothing Klaus did wrong. There was just a checkup, ran him over, and that separated Torgerson and Ripka, Klaus Williams off the back.
Let me ask you this, Jared. So there's always been a debate, or at least 2 ways to handle, let's say, how to slow down, how to check up for not hitting the guy in front of you. One is the lift, of course, a subtle lift or bigger if needed. The other is to just use the left foot brake. And a lot of guys like that. Is that something that would be better in these cars to try and keep that engine momentum going?
Well, I think left foot brake is always the better option. The other thing that I think a lot of people do is they pound the throttle, right? And that creates these big runs, all right? So a lot of people, unless you're leading in second place, there's no reason that you should be 100% throttle. When I'm third or fourth or fifth and I'm not pushing the pace, I'm running 85 to 90% throttle in most vehicles on this service, Dean, the whole way around this track, and that prevents those big runs that you get and all this collapsing, this concertina effect that can happen and create those issues.
Yeah, definitely. It's like waves crashing into each other. It's just unnecessary. You see it a lot these days because I think the real racing is a lot of bump drafting these days, and of course it's getting mimicked here on iRacing.
Not in my front yard, Dean. Not in my front yard.
That's right. The old timers on the booth. Pretty soon, folks, you want to come down, you want to meet me or Jared Carr, you're going to have to come down to our front porch. You're going to have to get through our German Shepherd and our shotgun just for an autograph.
That's true. That is 100% true. Love it.
And don't bring any kids onto the yard either.
Yeah. But man, I am just Dean. We're having a lot of fun in the booth. But I'm very surprised at how much this field has broken apart and the momentum has just died off. This is very reminiscent of those mid-'90s NASCAR races that I watched as a kid. I don't know if the guys driving are enjoying it, but I do think there's a strategy aspect that can be very enjoyable from this perspective.
See if the Toad Man can latch on, and I don't think that was aggressive enough. I don't think he can latch on to this group, so the Toad Man in deep trouble, and it's getting deeper.
Poor Todd. I mean, tough break for a lot of these drivers, and I think this is a kind of a learning experience for everybody. I don't know how many of these guys have done races in this car.
That's another great point. I mean, this is a new series here, right? I'm not too sure we've had a super speedway race, certainly at Talladega, and it is a learning curve. I'll tell you who's happy. These front 6, you are not going to see a move, at least you shouldn't, from this top 6. They should be content here to at least get through their last pit stops and try and settle this amongst themselves.
Yeah, and the other thing too, Dean, let's talk about the points, right? We talked about Jason Ratliff. Well, he's not even here tonight. He will get some provisional points. I don't know how much that will end up being. but he will get some provisional points for that. But this was an opportunity. Lance Ripka dominated the opening stanza. He is 6 seconds behind our main pack right now. But this was an opportunity. Chris Owens came into this race with an opportunity to jump up some points. He's been having all kinds of issues. I want to talk about one guy we haven't talked a lot about. That's the tail end of this first pack, Michael Walker II. He's done such a great job holding on to this main group. Great solid pit stops, Dean, and he is putting himself in a great position to have a great points night at Austin Inman, really aggressively trying to get underneath Adam Newton in this main pack, Dean. I'm very surprised by that move.
Yeah, I don't know if he's just trying to push him or what's going on, but Inman getting a little racy there, making us a little nervous up here. I mean, there's just absolutely no need to go anywhere right now for these top 6. Behind them, that group of Claus Williams and Lance Ripka, along with Torgerson, and I'm not sure who else is in here. It looks like Herb Ashley, I believe. And then you got Buskirk. I mean, poor Buskirk is out here. He's with Herb, and the other one was Tom. I get them mixed up all the time, but the Ashley's involved in both of these. Buskirk in a world of trouble. He is about 10 seconds behind Ripka and Williams and 17 behind our main pack. Then you got Pistol in this group. So Weiss and Pistol have got hooked up. And this is interesting because I think they're making progress. One thing I've noticed is they've been 20 seconds back for a few laps. So they've stabilized at the very least here, Jared.
Yeah, lap times have been stable, but the problem is it ebbs and flows, and the consistency of this front group has been significantly better than the rest of the groups put together. Inman and Newton kind of had a little thing there for a second, but they got that sorted out. Better discretion was the better part of valor in that one. But these other groups, you watch them, and it's just, you look back, Dean, at this second group, right? And that's led by Klaus Williams, Ripka, Torgerson, and Herb Ashley. They're just disjointed. And there's only 4 of them, which has already put them in a disadvantage, but they're spacing between all of these guys, and not like, I'm riding spacing, but like I'm struggling to hold on to you spacing.
Well, how important is it, Jared, to have people you're used to working with? I mean, people you practice with, people that you trust around you. I mean, you get 4 random drivers together. This is pretty much what you get.
Yeah, it is. And, and the other thing, too, is, Ripka and Williams are battling on the lead lap, whereas Ashley and Torgerson have their own agendas of racing for potential lucky dogs, seeding positions. Like, there's a lot at play here. And, that could be part of it, right? But right now, I think you have to have people that you can trust around you in this package, because if you don't, you could be hung out to dry and find yourself, like Ripka and Williams are right now, 8 seconds off the pack and losing time.
Yeah, and those ebbs and flows. So the Pistol group with Weiss and others, they're ebbing and flowing, just like you said. They lost a little bit the last couple laps. I think now they're getting ready to gain a little bit with this little draft they got going on. So it's not enough. I mean, you look at the front group. Whenever I click on it, you know what I see? Cars lined up, Jared.
Yeah, and this second group, and I like this move. Pistol is not going to try to stay behind Buskirk. They're all going to go to the outside, but look how much momentum it's taking to get the outside line to go. I mean, it is just nothing. But here's the key part here that's going to help this group succeed. Jason Spears dropping to the bottom to work with Corey Buskirk there. So that means Corey Buskirk and Ashley will be able to hook into this draft, provided Tracy Powers and Ian Spears can kind of can get down in there. So that's a really crucial thing that kind of goes overlooked. You have to have somebody helping out these last 2 cars. And as I say, that Spear went to the high side. So
well, I think he has to, right? He can't get stuck and lose this group. So at some point he had to go, but I think he gave them enough where they can latch on. And I think the way they're running, they're hemorrhaging time now, but this could benefit them as a group as time goes on. Right now, lap 48 of 85. Kylou Glass Gen 4 series. Of course, go check out Kylou Glass over on Facebook for all your blown glass needs.
And those guys have been great sponsors here at Windmill TV. We wouldn't be able to do it without them, and a live church. I mean, it's been fantastic covering all the RGR stuff here, Dean.
Yeah, it's been great, and this series in particular has been great. Really, every race super exciting, except for the week you weren't here, Jared.
Well,
I just gotta say that we had Newton fill in, and I told him how exciting it's been, and to everybody's account, it was a fairly humdrum race last week. So we need you, Jared. You got to bring the excitement.
Jimmy Spencer up here.
That's right, Mr. Excitement himself. Some people
Right
having
now.
a good run. TJ Rogers leading this thing. He's up 19. Adam, the Bulldog Newton, up here in the booth very often these days. He's up 16. Michael Walker having an important run for his points. He's up 7. You go further back in 14th in that group with Rachel Hunt, Tony Ratliff, and Eric Whiting up 11 and 9 spots. I mean, not where they want to be, though, even with those gains, Jared.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to point out with TJ Rogers, he has been a driver that every race he has been in, Dean, that I have covered, that we have covered together, TJ has been a contender to win. He has been fast. He has been solid. He's been taken out by some of his own mistakes, but a lot of other mistakes or a lot of other things that have happened outside of his control. And it's good to see him having a good run here tonight in that machine because he has been solid. And Greg Ratliff right behind him has been solid, has had some bad luck. So this is kind of interesting to see the ebbs and flows of this series kind of play into this race tonight, Dean.
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, you just brought up Mr. Excitement. TJ Rogers that moniker might fit him here in this series, Jared. He's gave us a lot of thrilling moments here at RGR.
Absolutely, and not just in this series, but other series as well here at RGR. But as we talked about this, Dan, that third group, not the Ripka group, but the Spears group. There's 2 Spears in this group, so we'll call it the Spear group. They have latched on, and they have been consistently picking up a little bit of time on the second group. They're only 12 seconds back. Or 17 seconds back now, apologies, of Lance Ripka's group. So this could be crucial in those guys at least getting back in the challenge for 6th place or so.
Yeah, I like this group right now. It looks a little better, and it's been better, I think, since Weiss and Pistol have gotten hooked up together as well.
This is going to be interesting. Let's look at the line here. So 9.5. So at the line, Pistol 25.7. So they gained about a half a second that lap alone. So this is very promising. But now Buskirk has dropped off the back of Herb Ashley on that lap alone with Todd Gilly. So that's not what either of these drivers want there. And it was just a slight bobble by both of them. A little bit of a bump in the tri-oval from the 19 on the 99, and that's cost them time. That might cost this group a little bit of momentum too.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild to watch. One mistake and you're losing that draft and you're gone. These top 6 know it. They've stayed together. They're doing great. And I mean, when you said the other group picked up time, I got them at about, like 0.26 they picked up. So, they need this. They got to have consistency, though, Jared.
Let's see what it is there at the line. 26.19 to 9.6. So, yeah, they're about 16 and a half seconds behind that second group. They are losing time to the main group, for sure. I mean, TJ Rogers, with Darrell Spear leading the way technically, has been very solid up front. And that group is continuing to put time on everybody else in the field. Just a very good working together in this group.
All right, well, I've brought up the pit board here. So pit stops were around lap 31, lap 32. Pit times ranging right around that 13-second for the main pack. Other people in this race, 14 and 15-second stops. Jared, what do you look for here during the last stop? How quick of a stop would be a good one?
Well, I don't know the times. You look at it. Everybody did 13-something second lap times, or pit times there. For the most part, Newton was a little bit slow in that main group. I mean, Inman was very quick.
I guess, Jared, what I'm asking you is, Can we short fuel a bit? Can we take no tires? Can we get this down into that 10-second range here?
Well, I think for sure the 4-tire stop is completely out the line, right? I think that that's a no-go. But I really think that this group here, if they all can collaborate somehow, I think that if they get on and off pit road together, collaborate and do 2 tires, I think that's a recipe for success. These other groups are going to be forced into the no tire move, which will save them time, but it will cost them in the long run because this car, the handling, comes into play on old tires at super speedways, Dean. I do know that, or at least it used to. There were some updates in this draft model, but it used to come into play if you didn't take tires.
You're also thinking about running in a pack of 30 cars side by side. We're talking about 6 cars, Jared, at the front.
Yeah, I think you got to put as much time as you can on everybody else, right, and settle it amongst yourselves. So I think that's the end goal with these guys is maybe, but you got to collaborate right now to get on pit road.
There is Claus Williams with Ripka behind him. Looks like Tom Ashley right there with them. So these 3 got work to do. They're now 11 seconds back. I mean, they just can't get up there. The main group still led by Ian Spear, Daryl Spear. So he is on the lead lap officially, but he is right there at the last tick of it. But it's TJ Rogers leading. You got Greg Ratliff, Adam Newton, Austin Inman, and Michael Walker here in this group. They are all heavily involved. I'm so curious to see. Someone in this group will not make it during these pit stops, Jared.
Yeah, I have been told that we're looking at about 9 laps, or 8 laps now, I think, until these guys are going to pit. So I think that is what the number we're looking at of fuel. At least I don't know if they're going to pit that soon, but I think that you're looking around 8 laps, 7 to 8 laps for these guys in the main.
Well, they did pit on 31, like I said, so if they were to double that, we would be here in about 4 laps, but I trust your information more than my math, Jared.
Yeah, we'll see, and that doesn't mean they're going to stretch it all the way out till they're empty, but I do know that a couple laps ago, TJ Rogers had 9 laps of fuel, so.
All right, let's go on board here. We'll go with Michael Walker here at the back of this group. Let's have a look and see if all the handling is still there. I mean, this is about as quiet as it gets here. That wheel barely moving, Jared.
Yeah, and that's good, right? I mean, everything's looking good now. And if you're Michael Walker, right, these guys in front of you, TJ Rogers is a part-time guy. Austin Inman has missed races, didn't join until later in the year. Adam Newton is a part-time guy. Greg Ratliff is deep in points, 10th in points. I mean, you're kind of sitting here like, if I can get out of here at the top 5, that's a win in my book if you're Michael Walker. I know he's going to go for it, but you're kind of sitting there thinking like, hey, I like where I'm at. I'm good with where I'm at.
Absolutely. I mean, he doesn't have to make a move till the last lap, Jared, and even then he doesn't have to make one.
Yeah, it could be a huge points night, again, pending whatever provisional points Jason Ratliff ends up with, but this could be a huge points night for Michael Walker II, and you're already starting to see, Dean, and I know Michael Walker's looked really clean, but up in the middle there, Adam Newton moving around a little bit, Greg Ratliff moving around a little bit, so I do wonder if the handling is starting to come into play just a little bit on these machines.
Well, that's another thing to discuss. I don't know. You were talking about communicating with each other, and the word that it starts with C that I was thinking about is collusion, Jared. I mean,
yeah.
These guys got to get up here and collude together, even if they're enemies, and we got to get everybody in sync on what they're doing. And I'm thinking, with this kind of lead and what you were just talking about, let's get 4. Right? And that's why you have to communicate, because if you get 4 and the other guys get 2, you're going to be left behind. You need this whole group to agree on whatever they're doing.
Yeah, this is, I'm sure I'm probably the only person listening or calling the races here that watches cycling. But in cycling, this is huge. I mean, you have a lead group, a breakaway group of many different riders on different teams, and they all have to work together in order to make the breakaway work. Otherwise, the peloton is going to catch them up. And this is very similar. These guys have got to work together. They've got to agree on a principle here and say, hey, we'll settle this thing out at the end, but right now we have to control this race.
Man, I wish there was people around the side of the track holding drinks for me, Jared.
Yeah, I could use an energy gel, that's for sure.
So Rogers quietly maintaining this. 25 to go here in the Talladega 200. All the show still remains. Stay tuned, folks, because the pit stops are going to be important, and those last couple of laps are going to be incredible here if we get at least 4 or 5 of these guys together. I guess there only is 5, so let's hope we get at least 4 of them out together and in a group. Other thing, hey, anything can happen here. Cautions are possible. I wouldn't be surprised to see a late caution here.
Yeah, I think guys are going to get aggressive. I mean, we've seen it in the chat. You know, Paul K. Travis has been talking about it out in the trap. I mean, it's just difficult to pull out and try to make a move. And I think guys are going to start getting aggressive and start side drafting, and you're going to see those things and maybe aggressive pushes, bump drafts.
Well, what about what you talked about with Inman, Jared? He was trying to get underneath, or possibly as Williams and Ripka and Ashley come in. But, you know, if someone comes up off the bottom, does someone fit their nose in there?
I mean, I think you have to at least try, right? I mean, you know, the space is there. You know, you got to take it. I think that's a quote from an F1 driver.
Absolutely. So the pit road, ultra important here. We see Ripka getting 4 tires. Williams, it looks like he's getting 4. Here comes Herb Ashley. Here comes Rachel Hunt, Tony Ratliff, and Whiting onto pit road.
This is exciting. I mean, it's like a slow burn right now, Dean. It's like we know that something's going to happen here. And this pit stop could be the make or break for so many drivers. You see Ripka getting passed by the leaders there.
And Spear, Ian Spear that was on pit road. Or that was last time that he was 54 seconds. That's how he got to where he is. Rachel Hunt comes off of pit road right now with a 9.9 stop. I love it. Rachel, the quickest stop so far today.
Yeah, but she's going to come out in no man's land.
She's going to come out all alone. That's right. And can she...
Here we go. Leaders are coming. Leaders are coming right now, and there's lap cars pitting just in front of them. So this is going to be tight here. All the leaders come in together. A little bit of a bump from Michael Walker to Adam Newton getting on pit road, but everybody solidly gets on pit road well.
Yeah, they did a good job there. Newton had Rogers under. Oh, no, Newton's turned. Michael Walker got in the back end of him. Oh, boy. So that's 1 down. Newton with a remarkable spin around. He didn't lose too much, but he will not stay with this group.
And Michael Walker at the same time overshot his pits. The advantage is Todd Gilly. Oh, and Inman's coming out with Corey Buskirk. These guys, so they're going to merge a different group of drivers to this. This could be huge for TJ Rogers and Austin Inman. I mean, those guys came out so well here, Dean.
Yeah, and so did Darrell Spear. Still, or possibly will be, on the tail end of the lead lap. Darrell Spear doing a little something here with this group. There goes and Rachel Hunt and another group. Now they are going to be merged in probably together, but they'll be a lap down. TJ Rogers and Austin Inman looking to settle this by themselves. Greg Ratliff falling off. Michael Walker falling off. Newton devastated. He was turned on pit road.
Yeah, I think right there with Ratliff and Walker, they might be able to catch each other. I think Newman is out to dry. I think he's going to be caught, although it's going to take a little bit of time, but I think he'll be caught before the end of the race by Ripka, Klaus Williams, and Ross Weiss in that second group. Or sorry, that's Herb Ashley in the 62 machine, Tom Ashley in the 62 machine.
What do you think happened on pit road there? You know, you got a car behind you. What's the proper etiquette, Jared, when you're trying to get down to your stall? Should you pull down before braking? What happened there, and what's the etiquette there?
Well, I think really you have to always assume. It's hard to know, you know, unless you're talking to each other where everybody's pit stalls are. But I think if you're coming up you got to get to the inside line, and it looked like both of them were kind of in the middle, and that's kind of no man's land where it's like, I don't know if I'm pitting, I don't know if where your stall is. You might have pit stalls turned off, but me personally, Dean, and I know this is frowned upon. Maybe there's a rule against it in this league, but I just drive through the pit boxes.
Yeah, well, we can't do that. That's just illegal.
I know. It is illegal. But I try to stay at least close to the pit boxes as I can.
Yeah, and I think the rules are somewhat forgiving for Daytona and Talladega, right? I mean, what we want is people to get safely on and off pit road. What we don't want is, what Jared Carr does, folks. We don't want you driving through the stalls. But, getting low, I mean, being safe is really what it's about, isn't it?
Absolutely. And unfortunately, it's going to cost Michael Walker an opportunity at this win. It's going to cost Greg Ratliff a chance this win because he had a little bit of checkup there. And it's going to cost Adam Newton a chance this win. And right now, TJ Rogers is leaving Austin Inman in the dust. I mean, Inman is struggling to catch on to this pack right now. But Chris Owens might be doing him a favor. He's side drafting TJ Rogers quite hard off turn 2. So Inman, I think, was grasping to stay alive in this race, and I think Chris Owens just saved him right there.
It's just wild, that outside lane. It's like there's brakes up there. I mean, they can't do anything up there. They got to drop in behind Owens or they're going to lose it. And they do.
Looking at it right now, I mean, this is insane. I mean, Newton is 2 seconds from being caught by Ripka and Klaus Williams, so the top 5 on play. Then you have another group, Weiss, Pistol, Powers, Jason Spear. That's kind of the next group with some lap cars sprinkled in there. And then you have the tail end of the lead lap. Darrell Spear is racing those 3 drivers in front of them, Rachel Hunt and Tony Ratliff particularly. He is actually racing those guys that are in front of him. He is at the tail end of the lead lap.
Yeah, they're all at the tail end. So the front 4 in this pack at the tail end, I believe. Could be wrong in totality here. But now Owens goes up top with Darrell Spear. And now you got Inman and Rogers behind a pack of cars fighting for the lucky dog and to stay on pit road. And, or not the lucky dog, none of them are passed yet, but this is unbelievable. And that's another question. I mean, are they going to let these guys go? And if so, how do they do it? And how do they fight for that lucky dog spot, Jared?
Well, right now, Darrell Spear, it got dropped, so he's going to be the lucky dog position now. But, I mean, I think if you're – I mean, TJ Rogers is in the catbird seat. I mean, there's 2 cars behind Austin Inman. Austin has to rely that those 2 lap cars that have nothing to play for are going to help him if he jumps out of line and tries to go around the 72. Number 1. And number 2, he's watched the outside line basically do nothing all night except when Paul Travis was shoving Adam Newton until he blew up. Can he rely on these guys behind him to do that? I really think TJ Rogers is in the catbird seat, Dean.
Yeah, I mean, he's so much in it because, I mean, we haven't seen a pass all night. So the one thing I'd be doing, Jared, and I would recommend if I'm Rogers, I'm not leaving that yellow line. I'm not leaving any space down there.
Yeah, and if these guys in front of you start racing, I mean, who cares? I mean, you just follow the bottom line, and if you get beat, you get beat. But, I mean, I can't imagine pulling out of line to try to get around either of these 3 drivers in front of you because they don't mean anything in the grand scheme of it.
Well, and the other interesting part now, they're led by 3 cars that maybe aren't running the same line they're used to. Things are getting a little more erratic in front of them. I don't know how this is going to play out. Going to be interesting. But Rogers and Inman right now, the only cars fighting for this win. Ratliff, Greg that is, along with Michael Walker, they're in a second group, and they got the Toad Man with them. I'm not sure who else is in this group. Looks like maybe Fleming? Or is that LaPrime?
Yeah.
No, that's LaPrime in there. So LaPrime in that group as well as the Toad Man. Then you go a little further back and you get Ripka, and they have caught Newton. Newton did latch onto that group, so that is very possible. He did it. And those 4 are hooked up, but I mean, they're pushing like crazy, Jared, but I don't know where they're going to go. Probably not much more. Amazingly, this is going to be Ripka is in 5th place. So you got Williams and Newton in this group. That's going to be a race for 5th place. Further back, Weiss, Pistol, Powers, Spear is in this group. And it's the 40 machine. I'm not sure. Oh, that's Powers in the 40. Who else is in this group, Jared?
Well, you look at this group.
Oh, that's the 34 of Ian Spear there in the middle.
Ian Spear, yep. Yeah, and nobody's in these other groups. I think right now you're kind of looking like for caution, right? Without a lack of better things to say, I mean, I think the thing you're kind of looking at is there going to be a bad push? Is there going to be the nose poke that we kind of talked about? The door opens up a little bit, somebody shoves their nose in. I kind of wonder if that's kind of going to be what's going to happen here from all this.
Well, what I love is Rachel Hunt said, I don't want any part of this. She was leading this group. She dropped off. I hope she attaches on the back. It's going to be a struggle. She's got to be perfect here. I think she's already lost the group. So trying to be kind, not playing well for her.
Yeah, and Dean, I do want to give everybody an update at home. That may watch this later or maybe watching live and not have chat up, do have several drivers that have retired from the race because of different issues chiming in the chat. Paul Travis, Corey Buskirk, some other drivers from other series kind of talking about their experiences. Not a lot of drivers, Dean, unsurprisingly happy with how the racing has been tonight. And, I understand that frustration. But there is some technicalness to this type of racing, but I think that it kind of came out of left field based on some comments that it was not like this before. So, like I said, I don't know. I didn't get a chance to run it in the previous build, but from my impression, from some of the drivers out here talking, I do believe there was some updates that may have caught some of these guys off guard.
Yeah, and that definitely will happen, probably did happen. It is what it is, and those who adjust and adapt the quickest are going to be out front and perhaps get the luckiest as well. TJ Rogers, Austin Inman, they've been good in this series in particular. I'm thinking of Inman. I think this is the only series he runs in, Jared, and he's been around the front more times than not.
Yeah, and Darrell Spear has dropped off this front four. The front four has become disorganized, which is bad news for TJ Rogers and Austin Inman, who are in that front four. But it's really good news for this next four who have stayed organized with Rob LaPrime, Ratliff, Michael Walker, and Todd the Toad Man back here as well. The gap is maintaining at about 8.5 seconds. Let's see what it is at the line. Greg Ratliff right there gained about a 10th, Dean. So, I mean, it's not great, but they are gaining some time. I mean, they're going to have to find a lot more, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're on 11 to go right now, but they are at least in a position where they can make up some time and not hemorrhage more. They have Ripka and Williams are currently 11 seconds behind Michael Walker and Greg Ratliff.
I am sorry, Dean. We have Chris Owens, who has hit the wall coming off pit road, and the hood is flapping around and covering his windshield down the back straightaway.
Wow. And he's coming on the track, Jared. He cannot steer that machine. What an ugly looking machine. Look, this thing is destroyed like nothing you've ever seen. The right side of the car completely damaged. Can he make it to pit road? I don't know. Will this bring out a caution? The cars go around, no caution. I think he's going to make it, Jared. I mean, look at the damage on this.
Yeah, and I think that was a similar, it looked like an Odaviani situation. It came out pit road, the car was turned, and then all of a sudden it just shot to the wall. He's coming back on the track, Dean, right now. I don't think he knows where he's at.
Well, he knows that car just will not turn.
There, he's on pit road, so good job by Chris Owens. I know he's probably frustrated, but man, a good job trying to get that thing to pit road without bringing a caution out.
And unfortunately, folks, we don't have any notice of that incident, so I really don't know.
Just happened to catch it, and I rewound and saw it, but just a weird situation. While that was going on, Austin Inman has been dropped from the top 3. So TJ Rogers leading this race and has about a half a second lead to second place. I mean, this is not what anybody, I think, thought was going to happen coming into this race tonight, Dean.
Well, this is what my wife used to say to me all the time. This is kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that happened a lot. Oh, man.
So Rogers, really, I mean, what more could he ask for? A free ride around the track. He's got 2 guys. He got Tony Ratliff out here and Eric Whiting in front of him. They're going to tow him around to the victory. Austin Inman, no chance of catching them now. He's going to fall back. And what we talked about with this other group looking a little more organized, well, now they got a car to hunt.
Yeah, and I was wondering, I mean, you know, they're not gaining a lot of time, but they did gain an entire almost a second and a half on Austin Inman that lap. I don't know if they're going to get enough time. It's going to be tight because we're about 7 to go. They're about 8 seconds behind, so it's going to be tight. But, I mean, Austin Inman, in a world of problems, he just basically went up high and just lost the draft. I mean, as simple as that. I mean, there wasn't anything that was super egregious there. And it was over for him.
Jared, I mean, what about Michael Walker as far as the points? I mean, I don't know who else is really in it. I'd have to bring it up, which I'm not going to do right now. But Walker in 4th, and now I guarantee they'll catch Inman. He's looking at 3rd place and maybe 2nd if he can get by Greg Ratliff.
Yeah, Michael Walker came into tonight just 20 points out from Jason Ratliff. Jason will probably get, you know, I would say 27th place points, Dean. I don't know that for a fact, but if he, let's assume he does, that's going to be, you know, something like 13 points he'll get tonight. That's a massive gain for Michael Walker. I don't think it's going to be quite enough to overtake him overall, but it's going to be pretty good. Ripka is the other driver in that battle. He's got a 5-point edge on Michael Walker, but he's gotten caught out by some pit stop issues. Now, he is in 5th place, so I would say that if anybody is going to pass Ratliff for the points lead, it's going to be Lance Ripka tonight.
And they have caught Inman already, Jared.
My goodness, he hemorrhaged so much time.
I mean, and he's so slow, he'll be lucky to latch onto the back of this group right now. I mean, I don't think he can do it, to be honest with you. The speed difference too great. So he's going to have to kind of get that car up towards them a little bit, which he's probably unwilling to do. So Inman going to get past, and it looks like maybe he get a little sniff in the corner here. It might pull him around.
Yeah, he really needed Michael Fleming to tuck in behind him. But the other thing, too, Dean, is these guys are spaced out. And you see right there, Fleming too far spaced out, battling too hard, and now they're both going to be in trouble. They both lost the draft.
Yeah, Fleming staying up high really hurt him there. And hurt them both. They're both drop off that pack. Greg Ratliff into 2nd behind TJ Rogers now. Walker into 3rd. Let's look at our main. I mean, look at Jared. TJ Rogers, Country Drive. He's leaving a good 2 car lengths between him and Tony Ratliff. He's just riding with 5 to go.
Yeah, those guys, they're about 19 seconds behind the next position, which is Tracy Powers and Jason Spear. West Pistol in that group, Ross Weiss in that group. Probably not any opportunity to catch him, because as soon as the checker flag happens, TJ Rogers will obviously drop off, and it'll just be a 2-car field there around. So these guys going to probably battle it out themselves on that final lap. But TJ Rogers, I mean, as long as he stays connected, he should be having a pretty easy time. And I think even if he lost the draft with 2 to go, I don't think they'll catch him in time.
Yeah, word has it he's already opened the champagne and begun drinking, Jared. Not sure that's wise, though. Ripka and Williams, along with Newton in this group, they're now hunting Austin Inman. And mark my words, they're going to catch him. I mean, Inman actually, he has 1 car helping. That might be the difference he needs. He might not get run down.
Yeah, he's got 5 seconds to Ripka, but the speeds, I think it's going to be pretty hard for Ripka and Klaus Williams to track him down.
If he was alone, Jared, he'd be a sitting duck.
Oh, 100%. So Michael Fleming battling side by side with him there for a minute actually ended up helping him not be completely uh, overtaken.
Sure. That's my response to that one.
Yeah,
TJ
positive spin on a negative.
Yeah, absolutely. TJ Rogers, 3 to go. I mean, all he's doing right now is praying, Jared. Praying that nobody does anything. I mean, every time Tony Ratliff here gets even close to Eric Whiting, he's like, don't do that. He didn't want to see anybody reckoned.
Yeah, and you know it's interesting. You know, I came into the broadcast tonight and we talked about it. You know, this is a race that kind of favors some first-time winners or some drivers that haven't won yet. Well, TJ Rogers has won already, Dean, and here he is. And this actually turned out to be a race that harkens back to the era that these cars participated in, where handling meant something, smart moves meant something, using the draft meant something, and TJ Rogers planned and played that perfectly tonight, and it ended up being a veteran driver leading the way here with 2 to go.
Yeah, well, what a job. I mean, this was the night where no mistakes, pit road, all these things were super important. Rogers done it better than anybody else. Greg Ratliff trying to hold on to second. He's got Walker right behind him. Inman, he looks like well, here comes the Ripka group, so they have run him down. So Inman in danger of losing 4th place now.
Well, Michael Fleming just abandoned him. I mean, that is, or Bob LaPrime. I keep saying Michael Fleming. It is Bob LaPrime. I apologize. And now Ripka's calling him. LaPrime abandoned Inman, and that has cost Inman 1, 2, 3 spots. I mean, that is, you know, I don't know. Maybe there's some team stuff there, but that sucks.
No, I think he's just trying to do the right thing, Jared, and the right thing is not that thing here tonight. Final lap here for TJ Rogers. Sitting here, 2 car lengths behind these guys drafting. Heck, he's stretching his legs out. He's going up the track a little bit, having a little fun with it. The 72 easily gonna come home and take the trophy here at Talladega. What a night for TJ Rogers. He got through it. Couldn't have said it better than you did earlier, Jared. Second, Greg Ratliff, Michael Walker. No real fight, nothing happening. They're going to finish second and third. Here comes Ripka leading that group. Nothing going on in this group. Status quo. Ripka, Williams. Inman did slide in front of Newton, so Inman does hang on to 6th. Newton in 7th. Here comes Weiss. They got a little battle here. Okay, we're going too wide. Tracy Powers on the high side going to take that spot away from Weiss.
Hey, thanks to the third group right there, giving us something to talk about the finish. Much appreciated. Also, TJ Rogers. TJ Rogers ran an extra lap. He has not abandoned those 2 guys that stuck with him or helped him out there.
Wow.
So Whiting and Ratliff will finish.
Isn't that something there? That is something, Jared. I mean, he kind of come down to do his burnout, but nonetheless, you're right. He helped those guys come around the track and make sure they didn't lose any ground. That's a classy move there.
Yeah, and I like that. I that's a lot of respect in my opinion for that. But you look at the rest of the field. That's the 13 drivers, Dean, that finished on the lead lap. Daryl Spear finishes 1 lap down at 14th. Ian Spear, good run for him in 15th. And Hunt, Tom Ashley, Bob LaPrime, 2 laps down with Todd Gilly, 3 laps down. They're the only drivers finishing the race. That's the top 19. Everybody else out. That includes Owens, Buskirk, Herb Ashley, Torgerson, Fleming, Travis, and Ottaviani all out of this race tonight, Dean. But what a job, and what a surprising race, in my opinion, that we saw here tonight at Talladega.
Yeah, I don't even know really what to say about it. It was something completely different. Caught the drivers off guard, caught us off guard a little bit. I mean, you were kind of on it from the beginning because you know, the historian that you are, Jared, kind of knew what this car was like and what to expect. But when the drivers don't know what's coming, you can see the effects, especially early on. Guys were casually trying to slide into the back of the pack and then realizing, oh, damn, I'm losing the draft.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think that I think there's going to be some people that are not happy with the racing. I think we've heard it from the drivers that were in it talking about the chat, and maybe the people watching. I hopefully you're entertained by it. I understand both ways, right? But man, it is a tough. It is tough, and it makes super speedway racing so much harder than just holding the throttle down. You have to be smart with your moves, and TJ Rogers, veteran that he is, comes out the victor tonight with his second win of the year.
All right, well, let's go to commercial break. We'll come back. We'll talk to TJ Rogers and a couple others. There was a look at the new BMW. It's a season ago, so what do you think about the BMW, Jared?
I'll be honest, I haven't tried it, Dean.
Yeah, I mean, me neither, but I mean, I love the sound of it. I like the look of it, and I want one in real life, Jared. Can you make that happen?
Yeah, I think Wintel TV, we need to ask for some raises from the boss.
Maybe some sponsorship. BMW, if you're listening, we're open.
Yep, that's it.
Nonetheless, let's go ahead and get into some race interviews as we bring in third place finisher, improbable third place finisher at one point, Michael Walker the second. Congratulations, Michael.
Appreciate it, man. Did you guys get a good nap?
Not yet. No, we didn't. We were. There was intriguing things going on, Michael. And why don't you talk about them? I mean, wow, what an interesting and strange night this car put on. I mean, losing the draft was the thing of the night here. I mean, almost impossible to slip to the back and hang on, wasn't it, Michael?
Yeah, and I'm sure you guys probably caught there at the start of the race. The top line.
I'm sorry, you cut out there, Michael.
I'm guessing you guys probably saw there on the initial.
And he's cut out again, Jer. But Michael, well,
Jingle groove.
you're cutting in and out, so watch that button if you're using a button. But we want to talk about really, I guess, one of the more exciting parts of the race, Michael. Unfortunately, you were involved with it. Pit road there. Tell us a little bit about the incident there. It can be a little difficult. Someone slows down in front of you. I mean, I don't really know how it all went down. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, it was definitely a brain fart on my end. I thought Newton was, for some reason, it started up near the front and was pitting up at the front of pit road, and I knew I needed to be as tight as possible to everybody around me, and just got in him. And I really hate that I ruined what was definitely going to be probably a top 2 or 3 finish for him. So I hate that. So for Adam.
Yeah, and then you guys come out disjointed. Obviously, I think you might have slid through your stall. Someone did, and now you're thinking, okay, whatever, fifth, whatever place I'm gonna get. But this attrition at this track, anybody who loses the draft, they're just gonna keep losing and going. You find yourself on the podium in what is a really tight championship battle. I mean, how important was it to hang in there, keep your wits about you, and fight and claw your way to the podium here?
Yeah, that's really the main positive takeaway I have for tonight with this car. With this car track combo with the recent update is the point situation. So it was definitely tough sledding tonight, but I'll take third, and hopefully iRacing can get this car fixed for the super speedways.
Well, we can hear it in your voice, a little dejected, not about the finish, but about the car and the racing. It was a tough night. You survived it well. Great job, Michael, in third place. We'll turn the mic over to you, brother. Anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, appreciate you guys being here on Tuesday nights, and of course we are very appreciative of Kylou Glass, East Coast Web Printers, and He's Alive Church for their long time support and keeping us going here. So we greatly appreciate them and you guys as well.
All right, Jared. That was Michael Walker the second. The number 22 with a third place finish tonight.
Yeah, Dean, I'm down here on pit road with a guy we haven't talked to in a little while, Greg Ratliff. Greg, congratulations on the runner-up tonight. I'm sure you're thrilled.
Oh yeah, Jared. Thanks a lot. Yeah, long time no see. It's been I've been on the struggle bus for a while.
Well, Greg, I mean, I know you've been back on 2K3. You used to do that stuff. We've heard some mixed reviews about this package here tonight. How did you feel in that number 5 machine?
Well, it's probably exactly what Michael just told you. Travis and I was having a little conversation about it too. He says it's maybe a good change to where, um, you don't have that big suck up and you don't have these crazy moves going on, and that the pack's going to separate more, I guess, when you don't have that. But I don't know. It's to me, I felt sorry for you guys. I was thinking about you when we were all single file. Nobody could do anything really. I mean, if you even two or three cars up top, I mean, I don't know. They just couldn't get anything done up there, so it had to be boring to watch.
Well, don't worry about me and Dean. We can always find something to jibber jabber about. But Greg, I mean, you look at this race, and you talk about it, just that outside line wasn't able to do anything. So how crucial were those pit stops? I mean, you had a good first pit stop. That second pit stop, it looked like you kind of got slowed down by a little bit of an incident there behind you, maybe, and kind of got disconnected from TJ and Austin Inman. Were you just kind of just trying to hold on and salvage what you had at that point?
Well, what happened to me, I just barely slid through my stall. I recovered pretty good, and that's what got me separated from Travis on that second stop. And then it just so happened that Michael, I think him and Adam got together back there, so we come out together, so we was able to hang on and make something out of that. But yeah, I made a little mistake there and cost me.
Well, Greg, it's great to talk to you. You're one of our, the veterans of the series, one of our favorites to talk to, man. Congratulations on that runner-up finish here tonight. I know you're going to take that momentum into next week and have a good run. But I'm going to turn the mic over to you and let you have the last word on your event here tonight.
Yeah, man. Just thank everybody. Wind Tunnel TV. You and Dean do a good job, and the others that helping with the broadcast. Kylou Glass for their sponsorship, and also East Coast is their partner sponsors for tonight, and then East Coast on Thursday night, and Live Church for Sunday in Xfinity race. Give a big shout out to all those guys, because that's what keeps us on TV, and everybody loves to watch the broadcast the day after, and it gives everybody something to talk about, and you can kind of actually learn a lot from watching them. Watching different lines people take and things, and so yeah. And then I want to thank Todd Gilly and George Dibble and all the other admins that work together to try to keep this place going and keep everybody happy and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, just a great place to be. I'm kind of proud of what we got here, and hope everybody's having fun.
Absolutely. Well, Dean, that is our runner-up here tonight, Mr. Greg Ratliff, with the second place finish.
All right, we turn our attentions to this number 72, TJ Rogers, down in Victory Lane. He's already been drinking. He started drinking with about 5 to go, so he's pretty happy, man. Congratulations, TJ.
Thanks, Dean.
I mean, TJ, this was an odd one to be certain. Now, let's start with, you got 6 cars in a pack. 5 are actually with you on the same lap. You're leading. You got one pit stop left. We've seen what happened with the draft out here. You're not going to be able to catch up. What were your thoughts approaching that last pit stop?
Well, I was just hoping that the group that we came in with, I got out with at least one or two guys. I kind of took it easy on pit entry, wasn't worrying about trying to kill it, just nice and smooth. And it, poor Adam had some bad luck there. Greg had some bad luck, and Austin stuck with me. So we went from 5 down to 2, got a couple of lap cars, and then it was just riding from there.
Yeah, and he went from 2 to 1 at the end, and that was interesting because now you don't have to do anything but stay attached, and I think you did it perfectly, trying to stay a car and a half, 2 cars back there. You didn't want no problems, and you didn't want to lose that draft. And we actually watched you, TJ, do an extra lap with them, kind of paying back them. We thought that was a pretty classy move. Tell us about what you were thinking there.
Well, they towed me around there. I thought I would just kind of ride back there with Tony. If he wanted to go, I was going to, kind of help him out a little bit. But, I thought those guys pulled me around, so I thought I'd just ride with them, help them get to the checkered flag.
Yeah, I mean that was a big lucky part about it. Like you guys come out, the 5 of yous come out disjointed there, but 2 of you and Inman, and you kind of latched on with a couple others. I mean, that was the real difference, wasn't it?
It really was. I mean, it's a it's a big change. It's a big swing that I think iRacing's taken. I mean, everybody complained about the draft package on the short tracks and the intermediates, and I think they just changed it on all tracks. And I don't know, maybe it's a little more realistic the way it was back then. I think me and Adam kind of had it figured out a little bit there to where I think if we had a third car with me and Adam, I think we could have made that outside work. You've really got to watch yourself a lot more with this package they have now.
Yeah, I mean, we seen him and Claus up there, TJ, but unfortunately, Claus blew his engine, but they were actually making a little progress. But yeah, I mean, it's live and learn here with this new package. And, it was tonight was the thing about we can't make mistakes, right? We can't get loose. We can't get to the high side. We can't get out of the pack. You didn't do any of those things, and it brought you to victory lane. I mean, you got to be happy with that side of it. I mean, this sport, so to speak, is all about being mistake free and being consistent, and you did that tonight.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it wasn't the greatest. It's not the greatest of packages, but in my opinion, it makes the super speedways a little bit more manageable because you can break away from guys if you just like you said, if you run a clean race and don't make any mistakes, the packs will break up, so you'll get 3 or 4 packs instead of having 20 cars all running in one pack, which I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, it certainly brings a new element. And even if they don't change anything, TJ, I think if you all come back with this package, I think there was a lot of learning that went on tonight, and things might be a little different. Maybe it won't be different for you. You'd still be in victory lane. Who knows? But I'm real happy you got one here, TJ. I mean, congrats on the victory. We'll give you the mic, brother. Anybody you want to shout out or anything you'd like to say, please do.
Well, I'd like to thank my teammates. Finally, I don't know, hopefully it came across on the broadcast. I've joined Red Fox uh, Motorsports and got them in victory lane, and real happy for that. Todd Gilly does a really good job with that team, and Austin's on there, and I think Eric Beller. So got some great teammates there. Of course, want to thank Kylou Glass and East Coast Web Printers for their sponsorship and the live church, and obviously appreciate you guys putting on a great broadcast week in, week out, every night that we run.
All right, Jared, TJ Rogers in victory lane here at Talladega.
Yeah, and what a job. I mean, I don't know. I think we've said a lot of the things that these guys have echoed. And I think there is a lot to learn from this package. Maybe there'll be some adjustments. Maybe there won't be. And if there isn't, or there's minor adjustments, these guys are going to have to adapt to that and try to figure out how you can race and how you can manage that package, because you're going to have to make smart moves. You can't just willy-nilly go to the outside line. You have to really make smart moves. But tonight, I mean, it's no surprise that our top three are some wily veterans in this league, in this series, in this sport we call sim racing. And TJ Rogers was able to be at the top of the mountain tonight.
Yeah, an interesting and odd night here where we had the what kind of moon was it, Jared?
Waning Gibbous. Waning
Okay.
Gibbous.
All right.
Write that down, folks.
An odd moon brings an odd event, and hopefully we entertained you a little bit. But for myself, Dean Doucette, for Mr. Jared Carr, that's going to wrap it up from Talladega, and we'll see you right here next